The normal distribution and a really good understanding of what the normal distribution is and how it works is a very, very key part of statistics. So I'm going to do a lot of examples, and I want to make sure we get a really clear understanding. So any questions you have about the normal curve, please, 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 please reach out to me. So you've heard me use the word normal before. The normal shape is a symmetrical graph, right? The mean equals the median equals the mode. And the normal distribution tends to occur for things that happen naturally, things that occur in nature. So the height of people. For example, this one is the histogram showing the distribution of 300 natural births around their due date, right? Of course, most babies are born on their due date, but we do have some who are born a little bit later, some who are born earlier, okay? So the normal distribution is a symmetric bell-shaped distribution with a single peak. This peak means the mean, median, and mode are equal, okay? And it corresponds to the mean, median, and mode. Its variation can be characterized by the standard deviation of the distribution. So let's take a look at these two graphs. Are both of these graphs normal? Yes, they are. One just has a larger standard deviation, so that means there's more variation in its values away from the mean. Here we have a smaller standard deviation. The values are located more closely to the mean. The area that lies under the normal curve corresponds to a range of values on the x-axis that is the relative frequency of those values. So because the total relative frequency must be 1, the total area under the normal curve must equal 1, right? We're using this normal curve eventually to relate the area under a curve between specific values will relate to that event occurring, and the total area under the normal curve is 1. If you remember that one thing about the normal curve, you'll be in such good shape. The total area under the normal curve is 1. So here is the normal curve of the distribution of 300 natural births, right? The total area under our curve is 1, or 100%. We can use this curve to find the areas, right? So for example, if you look at 14 days before the due date, this region here has an area of 0.01. So that means there's an 18% chance of that births happen 14 days or more before their due date. This region over here has an area of 0.12. Okay, that's 12%. So the relative frequency that you have a baby 18 days after your due date is only 12%. Some conditions for a normal distribution will be that the data set satisfies the following criteria. Okay, so the first being is that all the data values are clustered really close to the mean, right? Data values are spread evenly around the mean, which makes our distribution symmetric. And larger deviations from the mean, like outliers or numbers that are really far away from the mean, are really, really rare. And the individual data values result from combinations of many different factors, such as genetic and environmental factors. So things that are more like naturally occurring. Okay, so let's take a look at whether these variables would you expect to have a normal or nearly normal distribution or not at all. Scores on a very, very, very easy test. Okay? Scores on a very easy test, that means everyone would do really well. So all those would be kind of close together, but it wouldn't necessarily be a normal distribution because it's not occurring naturally. So that'd be something that has a nearly normal distribution. What about tree lengths in a forest? Well, trees occur naturally, right? That's environmental factors. So I would say that this has a normal distribution. What about foot lengths of a random sample of adult women? Again, that's genetic, that's naturally occurring, so it would be normal. Luggage weights on an airplane. So I am not a light packer. I will use every pound they give me. So I don't think this is going to be normal at all, right? This is like not the case. So this would be not normal. It's not naturally occurring. And the temperature of an oven when it has not been turned on or opened for 1 day. I suspect that that would be pretty normal, right? It's going to stay pretty close to the mean. It might be a little cooler in the morning, a little warmer in the afternoon. So this would be normal.